with an introduction. If you can tell me who you are and your dog, where you're from, and how you both met.
Okay, so my name's Ash, and I'm from the UK originally, but I live in the Netherlands. I'm fairly settled here right now, but I've been traveling for about 11 years. I lived in various countries, Spain being one of them. And during my visit to Spain, I was living there for about 18 months. I met Odin, which is my three-legged dog. He was about 3 weeks old when he was thrown in a river when he was a puppy. They sadly tried to drown him and his litter. He survived. My friend found him. And I was working at a festival at the time, and my friend rang me up and said, "Oh, you know, you got to come see this dog." So I drove over. I was working in Portugal actually, and I drove over to Spain. And yeah, he was just like amazing, full of energy. He had 4 legs at the time, and then I took him with me, and since then, that was almost 9 years ago. He's like literally pretty much never left my side. I've been to 24 countries with him at least. That was when I last counted. He had an accident when he was little. Somebody was really drunk and stepped on him at a festival, and it broke his leg, so he had to have it amputated. So he's a tri-paw, but he swims, climbs, runs, and even now, you know, like at nearly 9 years old, he still has loads of energy and runs for hours. Like, yeah, he's full of life and full of love. So we've settled in the Netherlands a bit. I've got a number of companies here that I run, and he comes to work for me every single day. And whenever I go a place, whether that's for business or pleasure, like he comes with me. Like any meetings I go to, he's always there. So yeah.
What a lucky dog, and what a lovely story. That's really cool. What motorcycle do you guys ride?
Triumph Tiger 800 and XRX, and I'm looking at getting another one, more of a cruiser for sometime this year as well.
Okay, to be used with Odin, or that sort of yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm lucky. The guys in the building next door to us are engineers, so and yeah, we get along well with them. So they've said, you know, they can make little adaptations, and you know, like they fitted the plate and everything for me. So I've got the quick release thing of it, which is great.
Yeah. Oh, the BRE rack. Yeah, it's handy to be able to just pull it off whenever you want and put a top box on, or like, yeah. What was it like for Odin learning to ride? What kind of process did you have to go through with him?
Just put him in the back. I mean, to be honest, he's so easygoing and so used to like so much extremes. You know, like different situations. You know, like I lived in vans and trucks for a lot of my life, and most of his life. So he was used to just. It's funny when there's a door that opens in a vehicle, even if it's not mine, he automatically just goes to jump in because he's just so comfortable, you know. And so the bike was just a natural transition, and just I have to pick him up. Just got in, and he just curls up in a little ball. You know, I have a harness for him that I already that I put him in when he's in a car anyway. So he's already strapped into a seatbelt in the car. So I just attached that harness into the pillion pooch, and he can lie down, and he's just chilled. I didn't have to train him with it or anything.
And does he hop down himself, or do you have to lift him off the bike?
He does, but he shouldn't. So now I do lift him off, because like the thing is with his, like, as he's getting older and having 3 legs, and he's hurt his back a little bit. He's got a bit of a bad back. So like he wants to run up the stairs and down the stairs, jump off the bike, jump in the bike. But like I tell him to stop and I lift him out myself. But
yeah, you're being the responsible adult.
Yeah. Yeah, someone has to.
Where have you been riding with him, or what kind of rides do you like doing together?
So far, only in the Netherlands. Sadly, the whole coronavirus situation has kind of like dashed any plans. We did have a trip planned down to the Alps in September, I think, but then the borders were all closed, and August or September we had everything planned, and we were going to go with a few other bikers. But yeah, that got cancelled. So just around the Netherlands, and I take him. I don't take him on the highways. I don't feel comfortable. Not necessarily. Well, not because of myself on the highway, but as a rider, just other cars have no attention, and everyone's on their phones, which is so shitty. So I wouldn't want to put him at risk of somebody else not paying attention. So it's all the back roads, which is nice for him as well, because he sticks his head out and is panting. He's loves it.
Enjoying the scenery.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any travel plans? So you're probably hoping still to do that trip. Is there anything else on the horizon to do with Odin?
Definitely, yeah. I'd like to actually travel down to Morocco. Just before I had Odin, just before I had him, I did quite a few trips with a friend who was an archaeologist down to the Sahara Desert. So I didn't ride then, and that was like 10, 12, 11 years ago, and I just always said I wanted to go back, and I wanted to go back when riding, and so it would be an amazing adventure to go with him on the bike.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of Sahara. We sort of went through Morocco and Mauritania, and it's actually really easy to travel with a dog down there. The climate's obviously a lot better, so you can go camping. You don't have to worry so much about trying to get into hotels and things. There's lots of camping along the coast and inland. It's beautiful, and it's great riding.
Amazing.
And you can let him off and run around and have some fun.
So excited, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. When you're riding with Odin, or perhaps when you stop for breaks, what kind of response do you get from other people around you?
Shock and confusion would be the first words that come to mind, to be honest. People are like, they see the big thing on the back of the bike and are already a bit like, huh? And there's a Pillion Pooch logo on it, and then normally and then I go, come on, pick him up, and they're just like, what the? And then people walk over and just start nosing about with it, and I'm eager to tell them. I say, it's great. Like he loves it, and I think some people are a bit like, why would you do that with your dog? And I always just say, if I go away, why would I leave my dog in a kennel somewhere? I want to take him with me everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason they can't enjoy riding just as much as us.
Absolutely, as long as it's safe for them, which that is, it's obviously solid. It's absolutely really solid.
Yeah. And do you have any accessories for Odin when he's riding?
No, but my girlfriend is encouraging me to get him goggles and a helmet. But I mean, I think for practical reasons, if there was a decent helmet and some good goggles, but like all the ones I've seen for dogs are just like for show, which I'm not really someone who wants to. I'm not gonna doll him up and dress him up for aesthetic reasons. He's got no interest in that, and I don't really.
Yeah. I think depending on the dog, a lot of dogs, when they ride behind the rider, are shielded a lot from sort of the wind and everything.
Definitely.
And particularly, Odin's a big dog, but if he's lying down, then you do what's best for the dog. Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody who is interested or thinking about riding with their dog?
Do it. I just think it's really great. I think do it as long as you're comfortable on your bike. I guess it's hard for me to say because I don't know. I've never had a dog that isn't like just used to go jumping in cars. If I got a dog now, I think it would be a lot different. Where I'm settled and it's not as chaotic in my life, and so I think it would take a lot longer to get them used to it. So just make sure the dog is comfortable too. Make sure you're comfortable on the bike, and make sure the dog is comfortable. That's the best thing I'd say, and then go for it.
Yeah, good advice. And do you have? I'll give you a choice.
Okay.
You can either tell me what you love most about Odin, or you can tell me an embarrassing story.
Oh God. feel kind of like, I should say, an embarrassing story. I guess I got a funny story. So when Odin was very little, and I took him to my work at festivals. After working at a festival, I'd often want to go into a hotel to have a shower and unwind. But in Spain and Portugal, they're not dog friendly really, or at least they weren't then. So what I would do was when Odin was really little, I'd put him in my backpack, and I'd like have a cable tie to zip the zippers open a bit, and I trained him. He learned very quickly to not make any noise, and he would just put his nose to the thing, and I'd walk up and I'd check in, and I'd sneak him into the hotel. But then as he grew, I had to start upsizing the bag. So eventually he got a small suitcase, and then by the time he was full size, the last time I actually did this to him, I got to this hotel and I realized the suitcase I had for him wouldn't fit. So I went to reception, and I told a white lie. I said, "Oh, my friend's thinking about staying, and he's got a dog. But it depends if you allow dogs whether he'll come and join me or not." And they said, "No, dog's okay." So I quickly went to the local town. I bought the biggest suitcase I could find. It was just this ridiculously big, huge suitcase, and yeah, and then I just put Odin in it, and it worked amazingly. So from then on, like I couldn't do it on the motorbike, but he got used to being smuggled into hotels all across the countries. Yeah, that's a fairly funny story. I guess I don't know. Nothing really embarrassing. It'd probably be embarrassing if I got caught, I guess. But
yeah.
Luckily, he would just be quiet.
Well, I don't think you're the first person to try that trick. We've got two, and when a place charges for dogs, they usually charge per dog, which is just like insane.
Crazy, yeah.
4.5 kilos. So we've snuck in with one dog that officially, but there's been another one.
I wonder how many you could get away with doing that if you had like 6 dogs, and then every time you walk past with a new dog walking in, they're like, is that?
Yeah, you need a good dog to do that.
Definitely.
Is there anything else that you'd like to mention about riding with Odin or traveling with Odin?
I love it. I think that it's really, really important that dogs are pack animals. As everyone knows, they thrive in a pack, and they see themselves as, well, we are their pack. So dogs really get attachment issues and separation anxiety. I think most people don't really realize that. They leave their dogs. A lot of people leave their dogs at home all week, and just all the time. And when they go away, if they go away a lot, their dog's just there, and the dogs would much rather to be with us. So if you've got the ability to take a dog, especially if you like to adventure, dogs love it. So I think it's just so important. If you can, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much for chatting with me today, Ash.
Thank you so much.
And good luck with your future travels when things open up a bit.
Great. Thank you.